select a race course. Beginner, please choose manual or automatic transmission. Manual.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
3, 2, 1, go!
Bienvenidos a Transfer Podcast, señores. Bienvenidos a un podcast especial donde decidimos meterle de lleno a esta falsa de tres. A esta falsa de tres podría decirse. No lo sé. Pero bueno, con ustedes, acá el señor Quimasta.
¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo va? ¿Todo
Bueno,
bien?
Todo bien, vamos de lleno, Quimister. A ver.
Dale,
was not
sí,
a foreigner.
ya está empezando.
Then they came for the protesters, and I did not speak out because I was not a protester. Then they came for
Todo
the
bien.
journalists,
¿Cómo estuvo esta semana?
and I did not
Tranqui,
speak
tranqui.
Estamos acá
Because I was not a
viendo un
journalist.
resumen de es la nueva E3, por decirlo de una forma,
Sí, sí.
por decirlo sanamente.
And then they came for
Preparé un
street
matecito
artists.
por ahí,
Yo un
I
cafecito,
did
una
not speak
tortita.
out because I am not
Sí.
a street artist.
Y cada vez peor, pero bueno.
el máster en Twitter y Sabashtan, bienvenidos una vez más.
Claro, un día que podemos, aprovechamos y lo hacemos. Sí.
¿Cómo estuvo la semana, esta semana de presentaciones, ¿no? Para digamos, que se vea así el juego, que se vea así.
No, no, no. Como una presentación esto.
Puede ser que
Pero está linda, sí.
puede que se vea así.
No lo
I
dudo.
realized that eventually they'd come for me,
Empecé por ahí sí, ¿no?
and there would be no one left to speak for me.
Sí, pero esto parece más un CGI que un gameplay.
Si llegara a ver eso así.
Pronto.
Dentro de 2 generaciones, cuando termine esto.
Sí, probablemente cuando termine esto.
Ese muchacho que está manejando nació en el 92. ¿Qué año nació? ¿Qué año estarán en este, digamos, en este juego?
¿Universo? No sé. No creo tanto.
2030,
Tal vez sí,
por
2030.
ahí, ¿no? Ya unos 10 años más. Estamos ahora.
O por ahí es el actual, no lo sé.
Sí, si nació en el 92 tendría 28 años. No
Welcome
está
to the resistance.
tan
There's a
joven.
welcome
Ya está
gift
grande el muchacho.
for our new
Sí,
members.
puede ser. Puede ser que estemos viendo un
They
mundo.
told me it was a
Pero bueno, a ver,
bloody
buscamos información. ¿Puedes contarnos
Costume party.
un poquito de Watch Dogs
Try not.
mientras hablamos de las cosas que se fueron presentando esta
43-year-old
semana?
London taxi driver.
Ayer
He has no
tuvimos
criminal
el
record, but is
Devolver
currently believed to be
Digital,
a terrorist. People have
este,
been asked not
estos
to
anuncios,
approach him. The authorities
esta,
advise all residents.
digamos, coreografía cinematográfica que hacen todos los años para presentar un poco de sus proyectos. Y como siempre,
Clint has been a long-time creative force here at Ubisoft, and now he's bringing this vision to Watch Dogs Legion.
So yeah, what we just saw was an amazing short film by the director Alberto.
Sí, me gustó mucho. Creo que muchas empresas tienen que aprender de lo que vimos ayer. No tuvimos muchos juegos, incluso fueron 4 juegos que presentaron, pero sí, en la Vega sí todos ya sabíamos. Sí. Pero bueno, la forma de presentarlo creo que muchas empresas tienen que aprender, porque la verdad ya se hace un poco aburrido, repetitivo esto de que se pone enfrente a la cámara y decir lo maravilloso que es el juego y
Claro, esto es
Leave
como
it
más
to us.
dinámico.
That's how you
claro,
them into your team.
es más teatral y como más entretenido. Y lo que tuvo también de espectacular fue que pusieron un juego gratuito en Steam donde hacían tipo una expo E3 virtual donde vos ibas a los stands y podías ver los trailers de los juegos. La verdad es,
Ahí volví, ahí
Take care of yourselves, stay safe.
Volví.
Welcome to the
¿Estás,
resistance.
Master?
yo estoy.
Me había ido, perdón, se me había ido la situación.
London town,
Pero bueno,
a
estamos
modern
hablando
metropolis,
de...
built on
Lo último que
history
pude
and
escuchar.
prosperity. Only took
De
12,000
que bueno,
years to
era
build it
una
up,
muy buena...
and one night to tear it
ejemplo,
all
se llama
down.
Revolver.
Sí. Lo que conté fue que fue el tema de hacer tipo una expo virtual. Tipo de 3 estuvo la verdad espectacular. Yo ayer lo jugué y está muy bueno. Es como que vas recorriendo los stands y viendo los trailers, pero virtualmente.
La verdad que me agradó esa situación, pero vos fijate cómo parodiaron, digamos, el Centro de Convenciones Internacional.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Perdón.
Mr. Nigel Cass,
Y
CEO of
bueno,
Albion.
armaron su propia, digamos, E3, por decirlo de una forma.
Sí.
Y
Sí.
eso está fantástico. O sea,
Está buenísimo.
tomaron de su propia, digamos, elementos seguro que tenían ahí, los que habrán armado esto de cero, obviamente.
He will stop at nothing
Pero
to permanently control the city.
tomaron de sus propios elementos de diseño y de desarrollo de videojuegos y armaron este 3 para que la gente lo pueda vivir gratis. ¿Estuviste jugando con Master?
Sí. Ahora está bueno. Vas recorriendo tipo los stands y cada vez que entras en un stand es el trailer del juego. Después tenés tipo como misiones que hacer, tenés que buscar algunos objetos y después a lo último tenés que hacer un boss final que la verdad es bastante entretenido por ser gratis y
O sea, por ser gratis, o sea, obviamente es
sí.
porque nadie te regala absolutamente nada en este mundo. Es más,
Yo creo que
ahora vamos a hablar de lo que pasó en Ubisoft, pero bueno, vos decís, contá.
sí, que el futuro tal vez esté en esto, en las exposiciones. Lo que tendría que tener, que estaría pero de lujo, es que pueda jugar alguna demo de los juegos directamente ahí.
Eso está muy bueno, qué sé yo, por ahí. No te digo que sea gratis, pero que pagues un ingreso.
Claro.
¿Qué sé yo? $5. Imagínate $5 de ingresos en, no sé, 10 millones de personas que en todo el mundo entran, o más que van a entrar.
All the hardy souls you see here
¿No?
are people we have
Sí.
recruited from the
La plata
streets
que
of
se hacen,
London.
o sea,
They
para
all
que
have
lo
unique
piensen.
abilities, and you're free
Pero
to
bueno,
tackle
lo que
this
voy es que,
mission with whoever you
sí,
like.
es muy raro lo que decís. Yo creo que no te digo que va a ser cosa ahora. Y ya lo estamos viendo en muchos lados que lo están aplicando. O sea, este problema
Like
mundial del
everyone in
virus
DedSec,
cambió
Arthur can
la
hack
situación
pretty
del
much
mundo
whatever.
totalmente.
But as a construction worker, he has a particular set of tools that make him
Cambió
handy.
la vida rutinaria y normal entre comillas que vivíamos.
He can even call his own
Se
cargo
adaptó
driver.
todo a esto nuevo, ¿no? A lo que es vivir desde tu casa el mundo.
Perfect for
En
gate
podcast
crashing.
llegué, Master
when you're
nos
not
decía
invited.
que había salido
But who needs a
a bailar
regular
en
old
el
gun when you have a bloody
Sí.
Estamos muy cercanos al Player Ready One.
Sí, cada vez más cerca. Ah, y hablando de eso, ahora en noviembre sale la segunda parte del libro.
Perhaps we could approach
O
this
sea que
mission
con esta fama
differently.
que
If
el
you'd
libro es
rather
del
keep your distance, we've got you
2004, ¿no? Me
covered.
parece.
No me acuerdo, pero no es tan viejo, No sé si 2014, sí.
A
Tal vez
real
por
tech
eso.
Bueno, habría que
Sí,
hacerle
playa.
Hate
habría que
spiders,
comprarlo,
but
¿no?
love this
A
one.
ver si lo hacemos un-
El libro yo lo empecé a leer, no lo terminé. Es entretenido. 2011.
A drone expert does
Sí,
have the
pero no es
unique
la-
ability to summon their own drone. This little darling is fast.
No es la gran cosa tampoco, pero está bueno, o sea, hay muchas referencias a la cultura pop y
Eso es lo que
a
más
nosotros
tiene,
nos va a gustar, sí.
lo que más tiene es estas referencias que traen.
She can also
Se pudieron
Sí.
ver la
enemy
película, se
drones,
darán cuenta de que
turning the tide in her
justamente
favor.
mucho de eso. Hay muchas
And if
referencias
you are not into direct
Volver al
confrontation,
Futuro,
there are more
Star
ways than
Wars.
one to
Obviamente
get the
que
job done.
todo.
limitado por las licencias, ¿no? Porque si no la película hubiera salido 10
Recruiting
millones
an
de dólares.
Albion officer like
Sí,
me
sí.
might be
10
challenging,
millones de dólares, no, perdón. 100
it'll be
millones de
hard to
dólares.
Ojalá,
stay in
sí.
restricted
100
Albion
millones de dólares o
areas.
más. De
Más
todo
todavía,
que
sí.
pagar.
Just doing recon for a bunch of insurgents.
Imagínense que
However,
hay
do anything suspicious and she'll
había
probably wind
Transformers
up
y
with a
demás.
bullet
Había
in
de
the back of
todo,
her
de
head.
todo lo que te puedas imaginar de los principios de los finales de los 70, principios de los 80 para acá, todo, absolutamente todo. Y más de los videojuegos, obviamente. Pero bueno, entonces vamos a buscar a los libros entonces que van a estar.
Sí, ahora va a salir el 2, así que por ahí tengamos una segunda película.
Bueno, estamos viendo un poco del adelanto de lo que es Watch Dogs Legion.
Well, that seems to be enough evidence.
Estamos viendo hace
Next
ratito.
up, we're crashing Mary Kelly's organ farming operation and putting a stop to it.
That's good.
El nuevo mundo virtual.
Quality stuff.
And we need a hard nut for this.
Futuro distópico donde
Bags, don't disturb me in my natural habitat.
está todo controlado, ¿no? O sea,
Say hello
y hay
to
como una
me,
rebelión.
the
No
man
tan,
lives
no
for
tan
his team.
distópicos.
I put another hair on my chest.
And
Sí.
doesn't mind getting his hands dirty.
Es una Londres del futuro, digamos, ¿no?
Sí, sí, sí.
Se ve muy bien, la verdad que no sé si puede estar muy bueno.
No, sabes que nunca ese lo tengo pendiente
Es
todavía.
algo que no sé por qué no me llama la atención.
And he's passed out. Ah, well,
No, a mí
we'll come
tampoco.
back to him.
Incluso lo veo y no es que me muero por probarlo. Sí.
A ver, ahí vos podés decir, ¿cómo lo haces que puedes decir?
It's almost crass to call him a hitman.
Tal vez sí lo veas como así, pero tiene distintos tipos de mecánicas que obviamente usar la tecnología para ir moviéndote y por ahí la historia sí
Some
digas,
might even call him
bueno,
an
es
artist.
un poco de ¿cómo se dirá? ¿Cómo no me sale? Cuando mitos no, la otra palabra de
Here's the
que
bastard
el Estado
responsible.
está ocultando algo.
Done
Conspiración.
and dusted.
Ahí está.
Not bad, not
Más
bad
de
if I do
esa
say so,
historia
innit?
de conspiración y demás.
Not
después se van
everyone in London is a legendary assassin or a
Reales,
super
¿no?
spy, but everyone can be a hero.
Bueno, por lo que estamos viendo es realmente un futuro bastante
So
controlado.
get out there, find the best recruits, and build your
No sé cómo habrá
resistance.
terminado el 1 y el 2.
No, yo tampoco.
Por eso no puedo hablar de eso. Pero la verdad que no me llamaba
It's
mucho.
time to take back.
No, a mí tampoco.
Veremos qué pasa. Este lo veo más como al cooperativo, ¿no? Ahí está, ya está dando la fecha definitiva.
Bueno.
29 de octubre.
Plunging the player
del
into a
2020.
living, breathing city teeming with unique locales and characters has always been a central pillar of the Watch Dogs series.
Están estas.
So what goes into building those
Sí,
worlds?
esta
Que
charla.
más
To
allá de
tell
que
us
sea el
more.
Ubisoft Forward, es un podcast esto y bueno, aprovechamos.
Lo aprovechamos. Sí.
I'm a level artist.
Eh,
Watch Dogs Legion.
Tuvimos un treehouse de
Being
de
a level
Nintendo,
artist, I think, is the coolest job
que
in
no,
games
la verdad no
because
mostró
we
mucho.
do get the
Mostró
freedom to kind of like
más que nada el
pick and
Paper
choose
Mario que
what
sale
more
la semana que
details we want
no,
to
sí, la semana que viene.
and we get
ya
ample
prontito.
opportunities to tell the stories
Y
that we
mostraron
want
un
to tell,
juego
especially
de
some
un
others who
anime
have
japonés
the capacity to hide things
que la verdad que
like small little
fue
Easter eggs.
raro.
Fue
In
tipo
AC
Digimon, ¿no?
Unity, there was
Sí,
some
tipo
of the
Beyblade o
stuff
Digimon, son de esa
and
onda.
then it happened again
Pero
with
bueno,
Watch
si
Dogs
lo
2.
pusieron en Treehouse debe de
There may or
vender
may
como
not be
loco y por
something in
eso
London that is,
que lo están anunciando ahí.
cats in some capacity.
Y todos los quedamos,
Disculpa que te interrumpa, justo estamos
Sí.
I was
hablando de
fortunate
eso,
enough to go to E3 last year.
cómo,
Some of the people that I was showing our demo to were from
la
London,
evolución
so
del
no
Assassin's
matter
Creed,
where I dropped in the
fue
city, they'd go, "Oh my God, this
concepto
feels like
para
Camden. This feels like
Nosotros estamos
Southern. This
hablando
feels
de-
like
pero
Westminster."
bueno.
mira,
When people are
Entonces,
talking about
ese-
some
ese
detail that I've put
anime
into the
lo tomó
world and they're
porque,
excited about
porque
it, like that feels so
tomó
good as
Nintendo y
somebody
dijo,
who,
"Vamos a
you know,
pagarle".
builds these worlds with
y
me.
sí, sí, sí.
I love it.
¿Sabes qué?
Y bueno,
Sí,
ahora no me acuerdo el nombre ahora.
Estoy buscando el nombre, pero mientras lo contás yo lo busco.
Nada, se ve que esos juegos de ese estilo a Nintendo le representan mucha guita, porque para meterlo en un Treehouse es importante. Hoy estábamos todos esperando a ver qué era ese nuevo juego que iban a anunciar y bueno, terminó siendo esto, que la verdad que no. Mucho no entusiasma. Más que nada para el grupo, sí, para los menores. O a la gente le gusta ese tipo de juegos, de anime y todo eso.
Es más como un Digimon, ¿vale? Entonces, para ese estilo de gente, para los que gusta el Beyblade,
Sí.
Digimon y todos esos, digamos, animes. Bueno, igual recordemos que Digimon fue creado para el videojuego. Fue creado por Sony. Era la respuesta de Sony a Pokémon, pero bueno.
No, eso no era Monster Ranger.
Ah, Monster Ranger, perdón, Monster Ranger, tenés razón, perdón, Monster Ranger.
No, Digimon nació de, creo, o no sé, puede ser que también haya nacido el juego de Digimon, ahora no me acuerdo.
Pero bueno, algo así era en su momento.
Sí.
Y bueno, Nintendo nos presentó el Paper Mario de Origami King, donde la verdad que me interesa porque...
Sí, se ve muy bonito.
Jugué el primero y el primero de todo fue el Nintendo 64. No, la GameCube, perdón, el segundo fue. Y obviamente gracias a Jack Sparrow lo jugué en su momento. Era un mundo fantástico en esa época, cuando uno
navegaba
por esos mundos. Ahora están presentando más juegos de
celular, sí.
Y igual, acostúmbrense a esto es el futuro. Pónganse a pensar que el celular que tienen ustedes en la mano que salió $900, mucho más potente de una Nintendo Switch, casi del nivel de una PlayStation 4. Así que, o ya hay celulares que superan la PlayStation 4, así que este es el futuro de los videojuegos. No solo en digital, en tu consola, en tu casa, sino en un celular. Es así, es la realidad.
Sí, parte sí.
Y Ubisoft sabemos que es muy de los juegos de celular. Pero bueno, volviendo a Nintendo, ¿vas a comprar? ¿Qué vas a hacer?
Vamos a ver. Tengo ganas, pero...
¿Qué estás jugando?
Ahora... Sí, por eso. Ahora estoy jugando al Yakuza. Bien, me gusta. Es un buen juego.
Un pack donde viene Yakuza 3, 4 y 5. $2,000. Para PlayStation 4. Ese está para comprarlo.
Yo estoy jugando el 0.
El
que
es antes del...
Sí, pero es como una precuela, pero es bastante moderno, no es de los más viejitos.
Mirá, ahí tenemos Splinter Cell.
No, no sé, para mí esto me suena que es un juego de celular.
Ya sabes.
Porque son todos personajes de...
A ver. Sí, para celular. Exactamente.
Sí, ¿viste? No sé cómo será el juego, pero bueno.
Speaking of Tom Clancy, it's been 5 years since Rainbow Six Siege first launched, and the community has never been stronger. In celebration of this milestone, Ubisoft Montreal has put together a special video to thank all of the amazing players and developers that have helped Siege become the game it is today.
Yo creo que va a ser tipo, no un MOBA, pero...
No sé, sí, por ahí un estilo así... Sí, MOBA no creo, pero...
Pero tipo Rainbow Six, justamente. Pero para
no se van a anunciar de Rainbow Six, sigue, pero la verdad es un juegazo este.
Están regalándolo. Bueno, ahora...
Pasa que, sí, en un principio el juego no era como un servicio, ahora lo venden más como servicio, porque vos lo que vas comprando son los agentes y pagás por pack de agentes y el juego ya creo que lo deben regalar. Ya tenés como un pack inicial y después, bueno, si querés ir comprando a los diferentes personajes. lo vas comprando.
Yo creo que hasta donde yo sabía, es lo que vos decís, lo último que yo me enteré, les recuerdo que yo no soy muy de este mundo y lo veo por arriba. Lo estaban regalando, lo habían anunciado que lo estaban regalando y bueno, justamente con un pack inicial vos podías comprarlo y tipo esos packs que se llaman pack 1 starter, como un juego de cartas. Y te compras el starter y después, bueno, ahí en adelante
we're always driven by you, our community, and together we grow stronger.
Es una gran comunidad, ¿no? Digamos.
Este es un gran juego, la verdad. Sí. Yo lo he jugado un tiempo y la verdad es muy divertido.
¿No tenés ahí en el Game Pass?
No, lo tengo en Steam, lo había comprado.
Se ve que los torneos son divertidos. Habría que entrar, ¿no? O sea, ahora vamos a ver.
Sí, igual no sé qué van a anunciar, por ahí nada más lo están promocionando.
Están promocionando justamente el juego de celular, el conjunto mostrando la historia de
Now 60 million players strong, we're just getting started.
No, es que a mí no me gustó otro, este fue el único que me entretuvo.
Los Tom Clancy en sí, acordate del primer Splinter Cell allá en la Play.
If you haven't tried it yet, dive into our new Operation Steel Wave update
Sí,
available now and take Ace and Malusi out for a spin.
A few days ago, we introduced y'all to a brand new multiplayer shooter.
No, bueno, este es el nuevo Battle Royale de Ubisoft. Innecesario para mí ya a esta altura, pero bueno.
Estoy jugando a... ¿Cómo se llama el juego este? Donde estaba el
Overwatch. Sí, Overwatch, sí. Pero Overwatch es diferente a este tipo de juego.
No, bueno, pero son del, digamos...
About 30 years ago, everything that we feared about our future started to come true. We made some good decisions.
Es una historia que va a pasar, muchachos.
We made some
van a
bad
controlar
decisions.
permanentemente todo.
Actually, we made a lot of bad decisions. So, here
Las
we
vacas
are.
tienen lente de realidad virtual porque
10 billion souls living in the
En el campo.
megacities.
Créanlo, ¿no? Pero
The people at
estas
Prisma
cosas,
changed
estas historias
everything.
que se ven, van a pasar. A menos que mañana mismo explote toda la mierda y no, que se vaya todo el
They
carajo.
gave everyone
Por
a
ahí más
way out.
rápido.
The Hyperscape.
Esto es muy Player
In the
Ready One,
Hyperscape,
Sí,
the biggest
sí.
draw by far is Crown Rush. This is where anyone can become someone.
Si no te quedó claro, va a ser bastante lo ¿Sabes lo que me gusta de Ubisoft? Es que, más allá que a veces tiene problemas con algunas cosas, piensa el arte gráfico que tiene. Es algo que me encanta de Ubisoft. Desde el primer Rayman que lo ves, Rayman que salió para PlayStation 1, para... Creo que había salido uno para...
If you get good at Crown Rush, it can
como que
change
muy
your
artístico
life.
siempre sus...
But strange things have been happening lately.
No sé si notaste, no viste yo.
Sí, te das cuenta que es un juego de Ubisoft.
Exactamente. Ya sabes, es Ubisoft.
Users disappearing from the real world.
Entonces, literalmente podríamos decir que este es un Player Ready One.
A darker secret lies at the
Sí, es un Battle Royale como los otros, pero es como... Lo único que tiene raro es como que es más rápido y mucho más dinámico de los demás.
And for others, a new way altogether.
Pero después no tiene nada nuevo, es lo mismo. Es un campo de batallas, son 100 personas. Y el que queda último vivo. Acá creo que incluso puedes ganar, creo que agarrando una corona o algo así. Pero después no tiene nada.
Captura la bandera, pero con una corona.
Sí.
Sí, ahí lo habían decidido, claro.
Hello, contender. Welcome to the
Pero no,
game.
The game takes place in
no tiene nada de
2050,
locos tampoco.
in a future where humanity has grown a little darker.
Sí, sí, sí.
Companies there. They are launching what's called the hyperscape, which is a virtual world, the internet of the future. It's the place where everything converges. Within the virtual world, there is a battle royale that takes place in the virtual city of Neo Arcade.
Que estamos hablando se llamaba Bakugan, Champions of Version. Sí. No, Champions
Then we
of
also introduce a lot of new things. You get the opportunity to do parkour.
Sí, es un anime,
to go into interiors where it's much more narrow, much more stressful. You get to go to the landmarks where there's more opportunities to get cool items, but also more players, so it's a risk-reward kind of deal. We introduce the notion of hacks, special abilities that you can pick up on the fly to adapt your tactics.
El modo este sí, el Battle Royale este es gratis. Ya está para jugar.
Ya está para jugar.
So a lot
Sí,
of
sí, sí, sí.
activities that let you have fun, that are toys that you can play with. And finally, it's made as a spectacle, so all the viewers will be able to interact with the game on different levels through the Twitch extension. So every few minutes, there's going to be a vote, and viewers will be able to decide what effect they want to affect the whole battle. So things like changing the gravity, infinite ammo, or stuff like that. So players...
Claro, por ahí tiene todo el tema de los juguetes y eso que viste. Eso dura.
So for me, it's really exciting because right now, as we speak,
Sí,
we're
otra gama
launching
de
the beta,
juguete.
so it's going to be available for free-to-play for all PC players worldwide. And I really want to thank all the players, all the streamers, and all the viewers who participated in tech test and who will participate in the open beta. Here's a short glimpse of what you can expect.
Algo que está intentando hacer es enviarme, lo viaje a las recompensas. Está todo tan saturado. Tan saturado que no te pueden loguear.
Sí, sí, todos se están quejando.
Así que seguramente me imagino que Ubisoft va a dejar las recompensas un par de horas más porque la gente cuando le hiciste regalo y te lo regalás.
Sí.
Está pidiendo.
No. No, para mí no. Esto va a morir en... No. En un par de meses esto está muerto.
Hyperscape. Dice que, bueno, ya está hoy mismo podemos jugar.
The digital world of the Hyperscape gave our artists and developers incredible freedom when it came to designing characters.
Production manager Ana Maria Musca is going to take us behind the scenes of character design.
Contanos.
My name is Ana Maria Musca. I'm the production manager for characters and weapons on Hyperscape. We have paid an exceptional amount of detail to our characters. We switch different outfits, different fashion statements, different tattoos, different materials until they see them as real individuals, as real people. So the second you pick a character, you see them in game, you understand what their motivations are and what drives them and what challenges them.
¿Por qué tantos monitores?
This was the first lineup of characters. This is our default base.
Sí.
Even starting
Sí,
from
igual
the
a
background,
banco.
everything has
Aguante
been
tener
meticulously
30
thought
monitores.
of. Would this person actually like this type of outfit? Would this person enjoy the type of tattoos that we're putting on them? Will they actually like to be in this body? Each season, we plan to produce new outfits for these characters. So we're hoping some of our players are gonna
A la nueva normalidad.
maybe even correlate some of the
No
accessories
sé.
to what's gonna happen in the
Todos
game.
dicen lo mismo.
We're very excited to
Sí,
see
sí,
people's
sí.
hands.
Como decía ayer
Sí.
de Devolver.
As we move into the next generation of gaming, Ubisoft has been working closely with console makers to take advantage of all the extraordinary capabilities these new
A ver,
consoles will offer.
sí. ¿En
Now
qué
we have a special
trabajan?
guest to tell us a little more.
Hey everyone,
Ahí está.
Phil Spencer from Xbox.
Están
With
todas,
Watch Dogs
¿eh?
Legion,
Pero
Ubisoft
Pero está bien, lo
is
está haciendo bien. Sí.
so you will get the
Es lo que
absolute
tiene que
best
hacer.
version of the game on any version
No,
of
no.
Xbox you're playing.
Sí, sí. En todas
On
está.
Series
Está en todas.
X, you'll get to take advantage of the amazing work the team has done with DirectX ray tracing to create an absolutely immersive version of London like you've
¿Y
never
quién te puede
seen.
rechazar un asado?
Ability to create immersive worlds,
Claro.
setting a new bar that continues to drive our industry forward. I'm a huge fan of Assassin's Creed. I love the time I've spent exploring the
No,
world
no,
of
no, no.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
No, lo
And I
dudo.
can't wait for you to see the gameplay
No, solo hace
from
propaganda
Assassin's Creed Valhalla
de la
that's
Xbox.
coming up now.
Sí, repitió lo que siempre repite, que se ve monstruoso.
We know you've been waiting to hear more about this game since it was announced back in April. And now it's time for a deep dive into the world of Vikings.
Hay que ver, sí, sí. Todo indica decir, pero bueno.
So a couple of weeks ago, we announced Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and the reaction from the fans was just amazing.
Sí, sí,
The
sí,
time
sí.
period of Vikings is really, really
Bueno, ahora vamos a
inspiring.
tener por fin.
When we did our research,
Aunque ya se había filtrado
we found
gameplay
that,
de.
they were not mindless barbarians.
Sí.
Vikings were actually farmers.
Sí, 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 era una versión vieja, se ve.
And so they had
Sí.
really human motivations.
Y no creo que tengamos media hora acá, supongo van a ser
Kind of the real story
10
about
minutitos, sí.
Vikings and kind of separate ourselves from the myths and the folklore is really something that drove us to make this game. The team went to Norway and England to take the same roads that the Vikings did, to really experience what it meant to be a Viking at that time.
Y debe ser Noruega.
And then leaving Norway, which is
De
very
vikingos, sí, Noruega.
majestic, and just
Sí, sí, sí,
coming
sí, sí, yo
by
estuve en Noruega, la verdad
in
que
England
es muy
and
lindo.
see those rolling green hills
Sí, sí,
full of
tenemos
sheep,
que ir.
full of life. It's just this moment that most likely the Vikings felt as well. You need to see this land of opportunity. And this is exactly the feeling we want players to experience in this game. It is a personal adventure, you know, it is the story of Eivor.
Últimamente, ¿cómo están los nórdicos con los mitos?
Eivor is either a male or a female. You decide when you start the game. They will have to leave Norway to settle in England because you just can't live in Norway anymore. There's too much political pressure, no resources available. Obviously, in England, it's full of Anglo-Saxons and other people, and they don't really want you there. So you will have to fight
Sí,
your
hace un
way there
montón
to kind
estaba.
of build your own settlement and see your time.
Posters.
Vikings were brutal warriors. And the fact that they were mastering a lot of weapons coming from the medieval times really inspired us to kind of revamp the fight system, to leverage the brutality and the intensity of Viking combat. Vikings were not only fighting face to face, they were masters of stealth and deception when needed. They used basically any sort of tactics they could use to win the battle. So we want to portray the full range of combat that you can imagine coming from the Vikings.
Sí, me llama un poco más. No es que tampoco estoy loco por jugarlo, pero.
We are very happy to finally
Se
be able
compra,
to
sí,
show you
y se
the game
prueba.
we've all been working on. So please enjoy this deep dive into Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Claro, y es lo que me parece van a hacer ahora, ¿eh? Va a ser más acción que.
In Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you will relive the epic saga of the Viking invasion of England. You play as Eivor, a Viking from Norway, who will lead his or her battle-hardened warriors across the North Sea to the British Isles. Eivor is driven by an ambitious goal, to build a thriving Norse settlement in a hostile land.
For the good of our clan, it is time we go a Viking. Today we raid, that tomorrow we may build.
England is a dark age tangle of broken kingdoms and warring dynasties, a land of opportunity and riches. As you prowl England's rivers by longship, you may raid locations you spot from the shoreline. Ground your ship and blow your horn to lead your raiding crew into battle.
Sí, parece, sí.
Your crew will assist you in all your raids, fighting enemies, battering down doors, and stealing cargo too heavy for one set of arms. Whatever riches and resources.
Sí, no sé hasta qué punto podrás controlar toda la...
access to useful services, better tools, and new settlers.
Sí.
At the heart of your
Habría que ver igual.
alliance map.
No, tan complejo no. Sí.
And a guide for future opportunities. The Viking Age was a time of warriors and legends. In Valhalla, you will find the largest variety of enemies ever assembled.
Sí, pero no veo que puedas controlar mucho de los demás personajes. Así que no sé, habría que ver. Por ahí solamente son parte de... Sí, sí, sí. Claro, y listo, después ya no, después no lo ves nunca más lo demás.
Claro, por ahí de repente vas controlando tus localidades.
Claro.
Seguir la historia.
Pero a veces es mucho más acción, ¿no? Ya se, o sea, las bases, sí, del Assassin's Creed ya no están más. Sí, 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 pero ahora ya está, ¿no? Solamente tiene el nombre.
¿Sabes qué me hace acordar a...
Sí, es verdad. Shadow of Mordor. Es verdad, se parece mucho. Sí. Mira, puedes lootear.
Sí, básicamente
all combinations of weapons are available to dual wield, including two shields. Not all situations call for violence. In this new land, a Viking must find a way to adapt. As Eivor is not welcome in England, you may need to outsmart your enemies, avoiding unwanted attention in towns and bustling cities. Use Eivor's hood and cloak to blend with crowds, and slip past watchful eyes. An unseen hunter among the people. From capital cities and villages to the dense forests and rolling hills of England, exploration is vital to keeping yourself sharp. You must feed off the land if you hope to endure.
Sí, sí, sí.
Hunt and forage to replenish your health and fortify your equipment.
Y sí, muy grande para su logo común.
Roman ruins for new activities and challenges to strengthen yourself and your settlement. The more you explore, the more of England's secrets you will reveal.
Los nórdicos.
But as you push deeper into England, the enemy will push back. In a series of Assassin's Creed Valhalla will feature massive assaults in which you will lead Eivor's army into battle against heavily guarded Saxon fortresses.
Today we will reclaim her. Today we fight for your land. And tomorrow we rebuild. For East
Assassin's Creed Valhalla will transport you to wondrous and haunted lands, inspired by Norse myths and England's pagan roots. It will challenge and surprise, with unforgettable characters, thrilling triumphs, and tragic losses, giving you the chance to live your own Viking saga.
Diciendo que después de este juego de presentación de los juegos van a mostrar un poco más de lo que va a ser las mecánicas de Valhalla. Bueno, ya sabemos, noviembre 17
9th
Todo
century England
noviembre.
is truly
Bien.
unlike anything the franchise has seen before.
Sí.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla
Estamos ahí
is
nomás,
released this
sí.
holiday season on Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, PS4, PC, and Stadia.
We're close to wrapping up today, but before we go, our CEO, Yves Guillemot, is here to share a few words.
Vamos a buscar ese dato duro.
I hope you will have enjoyed what you have seen today, and that you will love playing these games. I'm proud of our teams for delivering an ambitious, broad, and creative lineup of games. And we haven't shown you everything yet. In fact, we have a lot more to come. So you will have another Ubisoft Forward to reveal even more about our upcoming games. But before ending this show, we have one more thing to share with you.
Octubre del 2000 en Estados Unidos, la 2. En Japón en marzo.
Qué loco eso.
Sí. Y la 3, ahí sí ya salió más global, en Japón y en Estados Unidos en noviembre. O sea que ahí ya podemos ver un patrón.
¿Y la 4?
La 4. La 4 fue en noviembre, así que claramente es obvio.
Si no en noviembre,
Claro, es obvio que va a pasar.
la principal.
En noviembre nos van a decir las consolas que se van a vender, aunque ya nos haya mostrado la digital y la normal. Nos van a seguro decir cuánto va a salir la que tenga una capacidad, la que tenga otra capacidad y etc. Los accesorios. Nos van a decir seguro, nos van a presentar eso con los precios y en diciembre va a salir a la venta. Porque acá
Ojo que por ahí,
fecha de las,
por ahí, este mes ya sabemos.
Ese no te digan ya está a la venta.
No, por ahí este mes ya Microsoft, sí.
Y Microsoft creo que no.
Porque ahora tiene su show el 23.
Por ahí lo que diga es lo siguiente. Microsoft presentó que
El Far Cry 6. Con Gus de Breaking Bad.
ya tú sabes. Ahí es un mandatario.
Sí, un dictador tal vez.
Aparentemente el auto se ve
Claro, una especie de Cuba.
Vos decís que Xbox ya en este anuncio va a decir los precios y va a sacar una pre-order.
Y probablemente. Probablemente.
It's beautiful, amigo. Perfect, but useless. I have something for you, Diego. Give me your hands.
Papa,
Now, the grenade is simple. It has 4 basic parts. The shell, which contains the explosive.
Sí.
The fuse, the handle, and of course, the pin.
what are you doing?
Breathe. The pin simply holds the handle in place. It is only when you let go that this grenade goes boom. Follow me. Now.
Ala, ¿qué haces, Master?
Yo la tiro a la mierda y me voy corriendo.
Which means that someday you will be El Presidente. And our people, they do not know how to be happy. They are torn apart by opinions, noise, indecision, strangled by their own.
Venezuela. Nada que ver con Venezuela.
No, es todo. Sí.
If you only want to save them from themselves.
Nada que ver con Latinoamérica,
They will hate you, Diego. Everything you say, do,
cualquier parecido es pura coincidencia.
Semejanza con la realidad es...
They will answer you with screams. Call you evil. A monster. And give you this. So you tell me, are you evil? Are you a monster?
Sí, sí. Creo que la realidad es mucho peor que esto.
Basic parts. Our people. And you must clutch them nice and tight, or we all go boom. You understand now? Brilliant.
Y no le queda otra al capo, o sea, o le prueba o chao. Ya tenemos fecha febrero 18 del 2021.
And with that, we're wrapping up our first Ubisoft Forward.
No recuerdo cuál era, pero uno de los más viejitos, si no me había gustado.
The birth of a resistance in Watch Dogs Legion, the cyber chaos of Hyperscape, and the epic reveal of Far Cry's newest installment, along with so much more.
Ese dicen que es uno de los mejores.
Remember, we'll be back later this year with another Ubisoft Forward filled with tons of game news and updates.
Thanks for joining us.
Lo probé.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Ubisoft Forward post show. My name is Yusuf McGee, and this is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. We're going to take a deep dive into about 30 minutes of gameplay, and we're joined by a very special guest here.
Hey everyone, this is Philip Belgeron, otherwise known as Fizz. I am the quest director on Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
So Fizz, we're setting up here for what looks like an epic encounter. Tell us exactly what's going on here.
Yeah, so here we're midway through the quest that we're showing for you before. Here we're looking at the assault of Berg Castle. So these are big moments that usually
Ya no creo que tengamos más
culminate
anuncios.
at the end of the story. And so here Avar, our Viking raider, is taking a group of raiders and Fyrds into Berg Castle to go and take down Rued and his clan.
So who exactly is Rued, and why does Eivor...
Sí, estos asedios.
Basically, Rued
Sí.
comes into play about halfway through this story arc, where at the beginning of the arc, this is something that happens before, Rued basically caused a lot of turmoil within the territory, and Oswald, who's the sort of elderman to inherit this territory, needs your help to take him down. Oswald having just been defeated in a previous quest, and so here this is revenge.
Sí, pero pues la versión de PC también tiene los
as you're
botones
talking,
de...
we're seeing some of the combat of
Sí,
Valhalla.
puede ser las dos
Can you tell us
cosas.
a little bit about the changes to combat this time around?
We wanted to basically add a lot of new mechanics to it. So we added like some dual wielding for the player, like a stun system in there. And we really needed to do this to sort of portray that sort of the brutality that comes with being a Viking in this day and age. So it sort of fits into that the time and the character.
Sí, el Master Race.
Comparado con una PC, sería una Core i5 con una 1070.
No, yo creo que ya una 1080.
Through the assault, and finally it's
Sí.
revealed that our our Elderman, our ally,
ahí,
Oswald, is
digamos.
still alive and Ruin
Sí,
has
sí,
him
sí.
captive.
Core i5, ¿no? Con una 1080.
Sí, sí, el procesador no es la gran cosa.
Core i7 ni en pedo.
No.
O sea, parece una computadora gama media.
So now that
debería
we've
ser,
seen that Oswald is alive, we have Ruid within our sights. What's
Sí.
the next step here?
So the next move for Eivor is to finally face off against Ruid. She has her allies, they can take care of the rest of the army. Now it's time to go one-on-one against Ruid in one of our boss
Sí,
battles,
con
actually.
menos tal vez.
Una 1080 costaba.
No sé por eso, pero para mí está mucho menos ahora.
And it's worth pointing out, actually, that here what we're showing is the player going and facing off against Ruid aggressively, but we tend to always have to support a 360-degree approach in these things. So the player could have approached this a little bit more stealthily and gotten at least like a good critical hit on either Ruid or his wolf, and so you can play this a little bit more strategically if that's your playstyle.
So we're not only fighting Ruid here, but also his pet wolf, right?
One of my preferred strategies is to eliminate the wolf first, just focus fire on him. It takes at least one opponent out of the combat. Now Ruid will have extra abilities that come into play if you do eliminate his wolf, but I think having one opponent less in the battlefield makes for a good strategy in the whole.
Y tiene una mezcla, ¿no? También una mezcla con Dark Souls. Pero... Sí, tiene un poco de eso también.
Y la forma de pelea y el ambiente. ¿Será que la chica es el personaje principal?
No, para mí lo eligieron.
You throw in with these
Sí.
these arrogant swine? Eivor, no! He should be tried before God, a lawful assembly.
All right, so we've defeated Ruid.
Eso me te iba a decir, están como medios... Sí, no están muy elaborados las caras. Aparte están como muy estáticas. Sí, muy estáticas las caras, mirá.
So we have this choice to make, but before we get into
No tiene expresión. Está bien que bueno, es un vikingo, pero...
She clearly had to recruit some folks along the way, get some troops, get some allies. So let's actually rewind and see how we went about first gathering those troops.
So when coming up to an assault,
O sea, eso no lo han mejorado mucho. Bueno, pero esto claro, esto es lo que pasa cuando sacan un juego cada año.
But you still need an army. So here what we're seeing is Eivor going around the countryside and raising what we call a third,
Cada 2 años, sí.
and the women of the territory who come up and fight in the name of a king. So here Eivor is going around and trying to convince people to fight in the name of Oswald to finally take down the oppressor that is Ruid.
Anglia, defending you. Will you not do the same?
What? Die in defense of a lost cause?
Yeah, so she's really using like the image and like the leadership that Oswald had, what he meant to the people.
Aparte, mira, la lluvia tampoco los moja, es como...
Pretty words, Dane. The men of Theovard have their own battles to fight.
So we're told by this Reeve that there are troops, there are allies that he could add to our cause, but first we sort of need to do him a favor, is that right?
Yeah, so obviously these people have been run down.
No tenés el efecto mojado, que medio complicado se lo
A lot
metan.
of these people have sort of lost hope, and so you need to show them that there is hope. And so here, Eivor is basically helping them take back one of their prized locations by taking a couple men and raiding a nearby township, basically taking it back for the people and showing that there's a reason to continue fighting and then get them on your side.
Así que no te estaban atacando mientras aparcaste
When Eivor does this, obviously you have access to a full suite of abilities. So again, the improvements that we've done to the fight system. You have some brutal axe throwing in there. You have archery or like range combat abilities in there as well. So really, again, like depending on what your playstyle is, you can customize your loadout and go in there how you wish.
No sé.
Fizz, we just saw this giant pulse go out. What exactly was that?
So that is what we call the Odin sight. The Odin sight is basically our interpretation of the eagle vision from previous games, and we thought it was good to sort of bring that back. It's basically Eivor's intuition. It's how she perceives the world. When the player uses that, it'll highlight basically interactive objects, like things that will bring her an advantage. So we'll have arrows, like health consumables that are in there.
A mí también.
So it really is like a good way of sort of understanding the world and showing you like things that you can go and touch.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of things we can touch, we just picked up this awesome new weapon.
Something we wanted to play with on Assassin's Creed Valhalla, where we have fewer weapons in the game, but you can invest in them more, so they become your weapon. And so depending what your preferred playstyle is, or your preferred weapon type, then you can go
Y habrá que ver, pues por algo sigue tan vigente, si no, la gente no lo compraría. Me quiero imaginar.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
They unlock skills for players. So here you can see the Valkyrie dive that has just been unlocked. We have these spread out throughout the world, so again to promote exploration and discovery. As you travel through the world and you explore locations, you can find these books that will add abilities that you can go and invest in.
No sé si puedes cambiar las armas y todo eso.
Then go into the different locations or the different quests in the game and use those.
Si tiene habilidades, probablemente sí. Las armaduras, todo eso.
Now we've recaptured this village, we've secured more troops for our assault. Let's jump back now and figure out what we want to do with Rued.
The rightful king of East Anglia has spared your life today, and so it will be.
Compassion is a virtue suited for anyone, Eivor, including you. Thank you.
Eivor decided to let him live. Rued is really angry about that. Being a Norse Viking, being put to the death in battle is your road to Valhalla. So he was basically denied access to Valhalla in this situation. Obviously, all of these decisions come into play later on in the game, so we have very difficult decisions for the player to make. We didn't want to have easy decisions.
Yeah, you know, when I was playing, I decided to listen to Oswald and spare Rued's life. But what exactly is the relationship like between Eivor and Oswald?
So the relationship between Eivor and Oswald is an alliance. It's basically Eivor is surrounded by territories that initially getting into hostile towards her. And obviously, if you want to set up a new settlement, you want to make sure that your neighbor is friendly. So here in East Anglia, Oswald is the man for the job, where putting him into a position of power would help her sort of secure her territory. So earlier on to the territory, Eivor comes in here, meets all the problems he had with Rued are sort of put to light, and going through the arc, you basically help him deal with Rued and aligning basically Danes with Saxons in one territory.
Esas caras.
We've completed the assault, we've gotten our hands into combat, taken down Rued. We have this big open region of East Anglia, so before we head off to Oswald's wedding, what do you say we head out, have some fun, and see what we can get into in the open world?
That sounds great.
So we see a cat here with a speech bubble above it, and you best believe if you let me talk to a cat, I'm going to talk to a cat.
Yeah, these are some of our some of my favorite moments actually in the game, where we put out a whole bunch of events throughout the territory, and it sort of rewards again exploration, going around. It's a chance for us also to sort of showcase a different side of Eivor. A lot of the quests sort of deal more with like politics and warfare, and this shows a slightly more human nature to her. So it permits us to explore that character a little bit more. And so here, basically, like you're trying to help a kid with his cat, and ultimately get that cat to sort of join your crew as a raider.
You just said cat raider way too casually. You're telling me I could have a cat Viking raider on my longship?
That's exactly what I'm telling you.
Oh my god, yes, I love it. Perfect.
So yeah, as you're riding around the rivers of England, you would see a cat basically walking around your longship, keeping your Viking raiders company.
You know, speaking of the Viking longship, we're seeing some of that gameplay here now. Can you talk a little bit about how that works and functions in Valhalla?
Yeah, so starting out on this project, I think the Viking longship is one of the biggest images that we have when we think about Vikings in our game. And so Vikings had this awesome design for a longship that had a very shallow hull, so it permitted them to go very far inland very quickly, and you could basically disembark Viking raiders like on pretty much any shore. We added that into the game where you can basically sail up to any location and then just decide to disembark with your guys and raid a location, loot all its treasure, get back in the ship, and then continue sailing down the river to your next opportunity.
So I know past Assassin's Creed games allowed for songs and things like that to be sung on ships. Will Valhalla have a similar version of that?
Yeah, so this is something we actually wanted the crew of your ship to become like your home away from home. So we added stories and songs into the ship. So basically, as the player is going around, you could decide to have your skald sort of sing a song for you as you row down the river.
Sí, pero
You can also decide, depending on who the raiders are in your ship, to hear more about their life. So you can actually queue up stories, and they'll give you a little bit more background on who they are. So you get to know your sort of fighters as you're traveling around the world, which is a cool moment.
So here we're seeing a bit of a different view. What exactly are we looking at?
Yeah, on previous Assassins where you would like ride on your horse and you could pull out, have the horse sort of follow the track. We have a similar thing for the ship where you can put up your sails. It's cruise control for the ship. So you can go back, take in the scenery, listen to some songs or some stories, and just take it all in.
So, you know, speaking of Viking songs, we have an activity here that's not exactly singing, but kind of related, right?
Yeah, so here what we have is what we call flighting, which was an activity that Norse people would partake in. They would like to have a battle of wits and sort of poetry where insults would be thrown back and forth between each other. The idea was to try and have a good insult, but also to have a good rhythm and a good rhyme in there. So it's basically a precursor to rap battles.
Here's the silver. Now begin.
To all those whom I speak, they say Abel was a clod.
Es palabra mayor, pero
Then you're speaking to fools and their knowledge is flawed.
Well,
how exactly do you go about being successful in one of these?
The trick behind a good flight was to choose the right insult, identifying the right cadence, and then trying to find what rhymed the best.
I'm known for my might.
interesting. Silent whispers all claim that you're terribly dense.
Ya que para algunos está ya liberado. Obviamente a nosotros nos mandaron la invitación, pero bueno, no pudimos ir.
Then you've clearly misheard them. My wit is immense.
No, ¿qué va a hacer?
Oh, you
Así
lucked
es.
out with that one. Well, what a surprise. Eivor of the Raven clan is a true talent. I'm shocked.
Don't believe everything you hear, unless it touches on my flighting. Then heed every word.
Take the coin.
So now that we've proven our sharp tongue and wit, I think it's time for a bit more relaxing activity. So we're fishing here.
Yeah, that's it. So we gave Eivor a fishing line so you can actually throw out a line and go catch some fish. This is used basically to play into our new health loop where the player will lose health in the world and it doesn't automatically regenerate like we would have in the past. So you actually have to go out and get some supplies.
Lo que no vimos nada fue de monsters and gods.
Food that you can gather, but here like you can also catch some fish and consume that to regain some health. We also will sometimes have it in certain quests, so it's a good way to sort of chill out.
Y pero hace poco se filtró un gameplay, sí. que era muy parecido a Breath of the Wild. Muy parecido.
So this is what we call one of our offering altars. So the idea is that you find these around the world and you make offerings to it. So it'll take like animal parts and stuff that you can find throughout the world. Here what you're seeing though is sort of like a fancy version of it where as you do your offering you get interrupted by some kids that basically come and steal your stuff. So it's just a way for us to sort of showcase that like the systems and the activities in the world can sort of play in with some quests and some little events. So it's our way to sort of dress up these moments and make it all fit inside the whole experience.
Yeah, this seemed like a really sort of unexpected turn for what I thought was going to be kind of a simple interaction.
Yeah, and it's really what we were trying to do with these events is to give another dimension to Eivor, other than just, you know, the pure rar Viking or the politician. Because you can imagine at some point that will grow old if you're always telling that version of the character. So it lets us really go into the depth of who is Eivor, what motivates her, how she can interact with the world outside of warfare and politics. And it also showcases like a different facet of the world at the same time. It's not only Eivor, so it just widens the breadth of the stories that we can tell.
So who exactly are these two children?
These are kids of East Anglia. They are going through tough times with whatever Rued's been doing to the territory, and so they're just here trying to survive and basically exploit the people that are there to make offerings.
It was kind of nice to see that Eivor wasn't really necessarily upset at them for stealing, and you know, after you talk to them, you have the choice of helping them. You can, you know, give them food, give them some money, or you know, maybe just say, "Hey, good luck, on your way."
Yeah, and then this is something we also wanted to do a lot. Like, so if you were doing an event, we do it in Quest as well. But we want to give a lot of this agency into players' hands so that they can sort of shape Eivor a little bit, who she is, so it represents them a little bit more, and they can role play that a little bit better. And again, it just gives her like a little bit more humanity in these moments.
Tiene como situaciones en las que tienes que hacer asedio de castillos, de aldeas y demás, y después vos cuando, me imagino, ¿no? Será así, de que cuando ya tenés tu aldea tenés que dejarla hacer una especie de tower defense para que no te la vuelvan a
O probablemente no, por ella con la captura ya está.
Puedo decir para que no sea
Habría que ver.
Para que no sea tanto lío.
Claro, exactamente.
So I think AC veterans might recognize this here, but what exactly is Eivor chasing down?
Yeah, so here you're seeing Eivor running down one of our tattoo images. So this is challenging the player on free run abilities, but also for fans of the series, sort of pulling at their heartstrings for some beloved features.
So are we going to be able to tattoo Eivor?
Yes. By collecting these tattoos, you actually bring them back to your settlement, and then you can customize different body parts, having different tattoos.
No me impresiona nada.
Another form of expression,
He de admitir.
sort of to represent that Viking culture.
Fizz, one of my favorite things when I was just out there exploring East Anglia was coming upon a house or building and realizing that there was a chest inside, but that there was no easy way in. And in this case, I saw all the doors were barred, but I knew that because there was a chest in there must have been some way to get inside.
Están igual,
So
sí.
I went around the back and, you know...
No sorprende.
Yeah, I'm glad you actually caught on to that. You're pointing at something that we wanted to work on a lot on Valhalla, where we wanted the exploration to make you feel smarter. So we played a lot with puzzle solving, so making sure that every house that you find sort of appeals to you, like it draws your attention, and then when you want to come and explore it, it's not given to you. You still have to work for it a little bit, so it'll challenge you on your observation skills, logic, just trying to find how do I get into this. So we play a lot with level design, quest design to offer challenges to players, and you basically come out of it like with a better feeling for the exploration, but you also get to see more of a story behind each of these locations, which we've crafted. So it gave us a little bit more time to sort of slow down the experience and tell a different version of a story.
Me llama la atención, me vuelve loco para ya ir a
Yeah, I mean,
caminar.
speaking about exploration and just finding things out in the
La verdad
world,
que
I
no.
was just
Ningún
wandering and
juego.
came across this clearing and found this kind of morbid altar.
Yeah, so this is one of our bigger events that we have scattered in the world. So as Eivor explores, she can find altars like this, and by interacting with them, here it's a trap that's been set by this character named Regan. Now there's a bigger story behind all this. There's multiple steps to it later on. So this is one of the moments. It permits us to go into a slightly more mystical realm and play with a boss fight that has more magical abilities, if we will. And basically have this awesome boss fight in the middle of the swamps. And so here the abilities that you see Regan using are a little bit on the mystical side of things. What's happening is Eivor at the beginning of that trap is poisoned, and so she starts sort of hallucinating and seeing the world in a sort of different light and filter. And so that's sort of what lets us go into this the realm of the weird.
Eso es lo que es un Assassin's Creed cada 2 años, 3. Más, en esos 3 años puedes sacar DLC y cosas para...
Y sí, ahí lo mantenés, sí.
Entregaría cosas de mejor calidad. Se ve muy bien.
So we just saw here that Regan belongs to something called the Daughters of Lyria.
Yeah, that's correct. By finding the other daughters, you'll get a little bit more backstory on who they are, so we don't want to spoil that too much. But it creates like a sort of greater story that is not on the main path in any way, but it's still very rich and adds to the lore of this world and actually plays into history.
So we just had a really exciting, really intense boss battle. I think it's time for something a little bit more relaxing and calming now.
Yeah, it's all about pacing.
Llegó tarde Ubisoft para mí.
Here we have a low chill moment of what we call building a cairn. So Eivor, as she explores the world, finds these sort of meditative areas where you have a pile of rocks that you could just stack on top of another using physics. And I mean, yeah, the ultimate goal is to try and get the highest pile of rocks, but really it's about taking in the sights, relaxing, taking a step back, and just building something.
Together we stack stones into cairns. These? Yes. Think of this as a test of mind and weight. Stack the cairn stones high and wide into any shape you like.
I mean, you can spend as much time as you want building these things, making them as high as you want, as weird as you want. I'm sure like a lot of these stuff will end up on the internet, like people comparing structures. And the cool thing is that once you've built it and you decide to get out of it, it sort of stays there. And so that's yours, right? And until the moment where you come back and you want to build a new one, it's sort of cool that we were able to give that to players to express themselves.
At this point in the demo, we've explored East Anglia, we've met some children, we've broken into a house, we've fought a boss, we've built a cairn. I think now it's finally time to go and head off to Oswald's wedding.
Yeah, so this is the moment it's all been building up to. By the moment you get into the turries...
No, opino que no, la verdad no veo nada representativo en toda la conferencia, más que decir por ahí el Assassin's Creed, pero hasta ahí no va, pues tampoco me está sorprendiendo. Lo que me llama la atención, veo algunos faltantes, como dije, el Monster and Gods, ese me llama la atención, no haya estado. No vi nada de... No vi tampoco, no sé si en la previa habrán anunciado algo de los clásicos de Ubisoft, que son los Just Dance y esas cosas. Ah, ok. No, está bien.
Something we really wanted to in Valhalla, where
bueno, menos mal lo pusieron en la previa y no lo pusieron en la principal.
I mean, there's revelry, there's feasting, there's partying that goes, and like if
Claro,
and so here this is one of our opportunities to sort of show that, show what a sort of Viking gathering is. And what's cool here is it's a good alliance of Norse culture with Saxon culture, sort of smashing those two things together and building bridges.
Yeah, I mean, what's a wedding without some drunk archery, right?
Que tipo un Hot Wheels.
Yeah, so like, anything can happen in a Viking event, right? Eivor, yeah, here you just get drunk and shoot some arrows.
Steady all, and ready yourself for the wedding race. The king and his bride against all. My king.
De pista.
Se veía entretenido, la verdad. Se veía divertido. Y obviamente jugando con las físicas alteradas.
The decision I made to spare Ruud came back to bite us.
Se veía muy.
Yep, that's the decision you made coming back.
No, bastante pobre. Pobretón.
Bueno, dejamos de fondo eso, Waster, y vamos a hablar de un poquito de la 3 que no está presente. Y que ya no va a estar la 3.
You're basically presented with the option to
Probablemente.
¿Qué opinas de este nuevo futuro
or let him go and
de los
fight his own
videojuegos
fight?
como
Yeah, you know, personally, I chose to fight myself because I thought Eivor is the type of person who likes to finish what he started.
And a dead king cannot keep his
La
oath.
E3 ya hace tiempo que
Let me
ya no
finish
es la
this.
E3. Las compañías se están
I'll
independizando
slay the
para
wolf
presentar
kissed, then hang you with your own
sus
tongue.
productos y demás. Recordemos que la 3 nació a
How
base de
does
una
this
necesidad
encounter
que
with
era
Ruud
presentar
differ
los
from
productos
our
del
previous
videojuego
fight?
que no tenían
So at this point, you've eliminated his wolf, so it's just
Sí.
him, and so he's angry at this point, and so he will start using his big gun abilities like fairly earlier on in the fight. So it's way more vicious, way faster. There's less strategy. He goes literally swords blazing at you, and so this is a fight to the death.
Del CES, digamos, ¿no? Pero bueno, a ver. ¿Qué opinás del futuro de la E3? Y de lo que está pasando en este momento y de que justamente esta pandemia llegó.
And of course here, like, this is a decision you made to go and fight him, but
Sí, por ahí está por una olla que estaba a punto de estallar, diría yo. No, sí, probablemente. Yo no digo que el año que viene, pero de acá a 5 años no vamos a tener más E3. Sí. Y, o sea, sí, probablemente las empresas vayan por presentaciones como estuvimos viendo estos meses. Pero no, o sea, no me gusta tampoco tanto como lo hacen la mayoría de las empresas, como el ejemplo este de Ubisoft, que habla el diseñador de no sé qué y te muestra un pedazo del juego y habla de lo maravilloso que es el juego. Por ahí eso es como, no sé si no vende, pero ya claro, te lo vende, pero no me parece que sea divertido de ver. No, yo creo que por ahí lo que vimos con Delver ayer es un poco lo que por donde para mí van a ir la mayoría y
O sea, que tiene que ser más dinámico, tiene que ser un
sí, más teatral, como lo que hicieron ayer la gente de Volver.
O sea, que te muestran el juego, pero
claro, pero algo más. Claro, exactamente.
Para que vos decidas realmente lo que querés.
Sí, porque tampoco es que vos vas a terminar comprando un juego porque te lo dicen lo maravilloso que es en una presentación.
¿Qué es lo que decimos siempre? O sea, para comprar un juego, obviamente lo tenés que probar.
Probar, no te queda. Las presentaciones tienen que ser eso, presentaciones te tienen que divertir. Pues si no es un embole también. Y no creo que ese sea el camino. Pero sí, la 3 va a morir.
everybody.
como la
Thanks for
cono-
joining us. My name is Eric Pope. I'm the senior community developer on Hyperscape.
And I'm Graham Jennings, I'm the senior producer on Hyperscape. Hyperscape's now in its open beta phase, so you can go to Uplay and download it there.
So a little while back, we recorded a match for you, so we can talk through it moment to moment, explain what's going on throughout a match of Hyperscape. There's a lot going on with hacks, guns, the gameplay. So Graham and I are going to walk you through it right now, and I hope you'll enjoy it.
Nuevo, la E3 como que respiró y se sintió.
So to start
esa,
now, you'll see the insertion phase. There's the three of them in the squad, so they're trying to decide on where they want to go. It looks like Helios, which is one of the landmarks, is going to be one of the choices.
So all the places we're seeing on the map right now with like a name above that tends to be a higher loot area, would you say?
For one of the big yellow little ones like this one, this is one of the landmarks. Landmarks tend to have higher density and higher quality loot overall.
Which also means most people will be going there, so you might have...
Usually have a few more friends if you go to a landmark. So in this case though, he's gone outside and he's found a supply crate. So he's starting to loot instead, so he's looking for both hacks and weapons.
Right, so the looting phase, many folks will be familiar with.
Sí, eso ya no, para mí no, tampoco. O sea, está, tiene su magia, obvio, pero no creo que para los tiempos de correr sea... Más por lo masivo que se volvió esto.
Here now we've switched, so we're looking at Chimera instead. So he's in the landmark. He's still in the looting phase. But as you can see from the red triangle up there, there's actually some friends, or not friends, in there with him.
Yeah, so the action gets started, okay, right here.
Yeah, so he's one-on-one, he's going with the mammoth shotgun against someone who's using the heal hack at the minute, which is the red stuff that you can see. So that player's taking extra health.
Which looks like it helped him hold his ground against that menace.
And I believe it helped him survive at that point. There seems to be a few other players on here besides. The combat started and eliminations got Oh no, so he's just been eliminated actually.
Yes.
So he's been eliminated and he's turned into an echo now. So he's going to wait for his friends to bring him back. So he's going to go to one of these restore points, which are basically places where someone else from another squad has been eliminated, and you can be restored and brought back to life at one of those places.
So the action pretty much never stops. If you're eliminated, you're not out.
You're not stuck watching a camera with someone else. You're still playing. You can inform your squad as to what's going on, and then you can call to be restored at one of those places. There's plenty of people, like you said, who ended up at Helios. At least 3 other squads.
So we can also see when you have a teammate who needs a revive, it's called out on your...
Yeah, the green icon you can see at the side is him so Mr. Gorman's busy eliminating other players, which will cause more revive points to appear as well. This guy's low on health, so I don't think he's going to last.
Las propagandas ficticias en una ciudad están hechas por un diseñador gráfico.
What you'll actually see at the minute now is both Chimera and Elimination are both echoes, so it's just Mr. Gomi by himself at present time. So can he survive this?
No es que una persona hace todo. Programador hace todo, no.
Programador. There's still a few other players in here.
Varios diseñadores.
So that was the slam hack he used there. So basically he projected himself up in the air, he landed, he dealt some damage, and he managed to eliminate one other player. And then he's starting to bring back Chimera at this point. So he's now back. He's got to reloot and find new weapons. When you are eliminated, you go back to
Es realmente el futuro, eso es lo que tienen que estudiar.
So you don't hold on to gear when you get eliminated.
No.
Yo creo que es así, ¿o no?
So this is the start
Sí, totalmente.
Eso de programar para trabajar
how we
en un
basically
banco es
do
solo
map size reduction and zone reduction to bring players towards a smaller map into the center. So instead of having a circle that shrinks, we've decided to actually dissolve the map.
And is it kind of the same? Will you always know which districts are decaying first?
You can see from the map when you bring it up what's going, and you'll also see the icon when you turn on the left-hand side of the screen a second ago, which shows you where the safe area to go is. So at the top it will show you sector is closing, and then you've got the little icon of the person running with a distance against it. That tells you where to go to the next safe place.
De todo, es una gran escuela de videojuegos y está acá en Argentina.
We're going to take some height as well to start to be able to look for other players and keep themselves a little bit safe. So he's seen another player, so he's starting to throw salvos at him and probably describe it.
You see the red exclamation mark? That's basically his teammates pinging and saying, hey, there's an enemy over here. And he's been shot out from behind, so there's definitely players around. You'll see him going to go high again to try and take some positional advantage to get up, because he knows there's another team on the roof up there. He doesn't want to be below them, especially not with his salvo grenade.
Well, what I'm noticing is that they're doing a good job of switching from street level to the
Oye, yo trabajo en Google.
You should really use the variety between streets, interiors, and rooftops, and navigation, and keep yourself safe. Rooftops are great to see what's going on, but you're also then at target point, so you need to adjust height and interior, exterior to keep yourself safe. And to aggressively
So he just picked up a golden skybreaker. What is the
that is the top tier skybreaker.
No. Incluso me acuerdo una anécdota que un año yo quise empezar una carrera de videojuegos y estaba hablando con la mina para inscribirme y me pregunta qué edad tenía. Yo no me acuerdo si tenía 28 años, creo. Sí, 28 o 27 por ahí andaba. Y me dice, ¿pero estás seguro que querés hacer la carrera? ¿No sos muy grande? Yo le dije, sí. Pero bueno, estaba como... No, creo que fue mucho más antes, ¿no? Sí, tenía creo 24 años. No, mucho más antes, sí. Y... Claro, de vuelta. Pero lo que voy es que la carrera es muy nueva. Y o sea, no está pensado como se ve hoy en día el tema de los videojuegos. Está como muy nuevo acá y no... Claro, lo veía como más para gente joven que no sé qué quería hacer con... Claro. Y nada, bueno, no sé, esa vez me quedó eso. Pero eso me hizo dar cuenta que no... Si ya me la encaran de esa manera la carrera, dije no, ni en pedo voy a gastar, claro, no voy a gastar plata en eso.
O sea, hace 10 años atrás, imagínense que acá en Argentina se veía así, o sea, la carrera de sistema era esa, era informática para redes, base de datos y nada más. Exactamente para eso. Yo, por ejemplo, en mi carrera me estaba enfocando a redes informáticas. Porque llega un momento de la carrera que elegís para qué lado te vas a enfocar. Entonces, como me gustaba eso y las bases de datos también, obviamente después cuando toda la mierda, porque me dije, ya está, estudiar acá al pedo. No es al pedo estudiar, muchachos, no tomen mal el
no, estudié en una...
Estudiar se puede estudiar.
En una universidad... eso es al pedo para mí en este país.
Sí, exactamente.
El estudiar no, obvio, vos podés ser de autodidacta y estudiar todo lo que quieras y ser un capo en lo que quieras.
El mensaje que les doy el día de hoy, estudien.
Sí, obvio, lo que quieran.
Lo que quieran, pero estudien porque...
Pero no hagan... Que no sigan una carrera que les aburra. O sea, no vayan a una universidad por tener un papel que diga que son tal otra cosa.
Pueden hacer cursos. Puedo asegurar que la experiencia y los cursos que hagan son más que un título universitario. Pueden hacer cursos de diseño y programación. Pueden hacer cursos de diseño de ambiente de videojuegos. Ya les dije, diseño gráfico, diseño de... Esos son los más buscados en una empresa de videojuegos. Hay solamente títulos para los que saben puesto de trabajo solo para empezar a desarrollar el ambiente, o sea, la montaña, las que ves en Red or White, solo lo diseñan solamente para ellos. El caballito de donde se sube el link, solamente lo tiene para un diseñador de ese tipo, ¿entendés? O sea, hay un montón de cosas y buscan eso. Pero bueno, lamentablemente, como decía, hace 10 años atrás, las cosas los videojuegos habían, por lo menos en el país, se seguían viendo como si fueran juguetes y las carreras obviamente más. Por eso hubo un esfuerzo muy grande afuera para eso.
So basically in the top right
¿Por qué
now
digo
you'll
Ubisoft?
see the
Porque
cross and it's kind of ticking down. So this is the time left for the healthcare event.
no sé, ahora
Basically
es
every match
argentino.
there will be cards played which change what happens in the match. So
él
this
decía
was the
siempre
healthcare
que
event,
justamente
there's
eso,
things
acá
like
en
low
Argentina
driving 2 which gets up in the air.
era muy arcaica el
And are these just random, or are players triggering these events somehow?
So there's two different ways it happens. So the game master is great, who plays them in this case. Or if there's a streamer in the game, the streamer's viewers will get the chance
que
to
el
vote
futuro de acá a 10 años,
so
en
pop
ese
up
momento, hace 10 años,
different options. And then whichever gets the highest number of
los
votes.
videojuegos iban a crecer más que cualquier otra cosa. Y literalmente pasó eso.
That's through the
Es lo que más plata da,
Through the
lo que más
Chromecast,
empleo da. Más que el cine, más que la tele.
So here
más que,
you see that you got caught in the decay then and fell
un
through
diseñador
the
de
building. So
videojuegos o
trying
alguien
to move back in.
trabaja en los videojuegos cobra más que un
There's
bancario.
only
O
3
sea, ya
teams
con
left now,
eso
so we're starting to get towards the
se dan
smaller
cuenta de
map
la
size,
importancia
so
que
it's going to
tiene esto.
become chaotic shortly. And they're just on the edge
Y
of
no
this
pienses
landmark.
como le dijeron a Miguel de que ya estás viejo, de que no puedes
There's
nada.
Red Tiger, so they're heading up.
Mientras tu cabeza
Here you'll
siga
see the top, it
funcionando
says crown appears in 10
y tengas
seconds. So basically you
pasión
have
por
a
lo que vas a
crown that
hacer,
spawns in the
puedes
wall.
empezar a
If the
estudiar
player
a
grabs
cualquier
the
edad,
crown
¿o no?
and manages to hold
Sí,
it
sí,
for
vamos a
45
ver.
seconds, you will
O
win
sea,
that game.
no dejes que nadie te diga.
The only
no,
downside
algo,
to that is once
vos
you
lo
picked up the
decías.
crown, everyone can see where you are and everyone's going to
Obviamente siempre lo deseas con ganas, ¿no?
So yeah, he's
Ahí
got the
estamos hablando un poco
crown,
del
the
juego
countdown is
este,
on.
el
As soon as,
captura de la
if he were to
corona.
get eliminated, it would drop and that countdown would go away.
Yes, and then whoever picks it
Pero es
up
así,
next,
¿o no?
that
O sea,
person,
mientras hagas algo con
the
pasión, no
crown
importa la edad que tengas.
And that's only
¿Cuántas
one of
noticias del
the two
noticiero
ways
salen
you
de
can
que
win a match.
tal persona se recibió en los
Yeah, you
80
can win
años?
via the crown if you want
Ya
to
está,
take
con
it and
eso ya
maneuver. This is
tienen
why
todo,
you'll see
muchachos.
the really high
Acá
up
lo que importa es lo que ustedes quieren. Pero
on
bueno,
the higher space, or you can eliminate all
por
the
resumen de la E3, la E3 murió para mí, la E3 tiene que morir.
You could sneak around
Muerta la
and
E3,
grab that crown and survive.
porque ya
If you
quedó
use your
obsoleto,
hack
ya
well,
quedó
you
en el
use your
pasado
movement
y
and idle lock,
sí,
then
hubiera
you
estado
possibly
bueno
grab the
que
crown,
siga
get to the
como
end, and then
algo
move via the crown victory.
evolucionar a algo más artístico, por decirlo de alguna forma. Pero bueno, la E3 ya dejó de ser la E3 hace mucho tiempo cuando las cosas ya se empezaron a presentar, por ejemplo, en un direct. Cuando Satoru
All right,
Iwata
well, that was
presentó
just one match of the frenetic
la primera consola en un
Hyperscape
video,
that we are both very lucky to
ahí
work
ya
on. Thank you for joining
todos
us.
empezaron a hacer lo mismo.
Thank you for watching UB
Todos
Forward in this
empezaron a
post-show.
pasar sus
As we mentioned before, the
dispositivos,
game's available right
sus
now in
videojuegos.
open beta on
En este
PC.
momento,
Just go to
es más,
Uplay to download it.
ya hace 2 o
And
3
we're
años
also
que
thrilled to be
Xbox
taking
se
part in the
separa
Twitch Rivals
de la
event.
E3 y tiene su
The
propio
information appearing magically
lugar
on the
que
screen
es de ellos,
below
donde
us.
presentan todo. PlayStation
So Graham, thank you for your
hace
time.
2 o
Thank
3
you,
años
Eric. Have a
también
good day.
presenta sus
And we'll
cosas
see you in the
el-
Hyperscape.
¿Cómo se llama? Sony Experience. Y Nintendo con su Direct desde el primer día. Así que bueno. Thank you for watching. Y por acompañarnos en este podcast especial. Y nada, Webmaster. Nos vemos en el próximo Transfer Podcast, Kurumasta.
Así es.
Gracias por acompañarnos y espero que les haya gustado esto. Nosotros nos vamos a jugar a los videojuegos. Hasta luego, mi amigo.
Adiós.
Kurumasta.
Adiós.